J. Edgar Hoover was the director of the FBI for 37 years, and he served under 6 different presidents, from Roosevelt all the way to Nixon. No president wanted to fire him, partially because they were afraid that if they did, the FBI would dig up a bunch of dirt on them and come after them. Meanwhile, in 2017, Donald Trump, the president with possibly the most to hide of any U.S. president ever, fired James Comey, the director of the FBI, while Comey was investigating him.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
And that was just one of many weird and unconventional things that the Trump White House did. Another weird and unconventional thing that the Trump White House did was they invited this journalist, Michael Wolff, to just be a fly in the wall in the White House and interview people and prepare a book, which turned into this book, Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, which is not really flattering at all to the president. Michael Wolff describes Trump as a real-life fictional character because he's just such a preposterous human being. He didn't actually think he was going to win the election. He thought he was just going to, go down in a blaze of glory and say that the election was rigged and stolen from him, and then go back to being, a shady real estate developer. He even promised Melania that there was no way he was going to win the election. Wolff compares Trump's campaign to the Mel Brooks play The Producers, where these people, they're producing a play and they sell more than 100% stake in the play. And so they have to make sure that the play is a failure so that they don't get discovered as fraudsters. And so they do all this ridiculous stuff to make sure that the play is a failure. And the play ends up being so bad that everyone wants to go see it. And then on November 9th, the day after they won the election, they had to scramble to figure out, how the hell are we going to put together a White House? The Trump White House may have been the most disorganized White House of all time. They didn't have an official org chart. There was no, this person reports to this person reports to this person. It's just there was one guy at the top, and then everyone was just scrambling to get his attention. Trump also didn't have a specific agenda for what he wanted to do as president. He said a bunch of wacky stuff during the campaign, like that he was going to build a wall, but once he got into office, he just had no clue what to do. But the people around Trump did have agendas. Reince Priebus wanted to basically do what the Republican Party wanted to do. Jared and Ivanka were moderate Democrats, and then Steve Bannon was into all kinds of weird, wacky, alt-right shit. The way Michael Wolff describes it, Jared and Ivanka, Reince Priebus, and Steve Bannon represented 3 separate factions that were all vying for a piece of Trump's brain. And whoever manipulated him the best would get their agenda pushed instead of the other guy's agenda. They had a bunch of weird and shady tactics for manipulating Trump, including distracting him when he was super fixated on a policy they didn't want him to pursue, calling Joe from Morning Joe and telling him to say this on his show, which Trump would be watching, and leaking stuff to the press. One of the biggest challenges to getting Trump to pursue your agenda was that Trump didn't like to read stuff. If you prepared a report for him and said, "Hey, Mr. President, here's all the information you need right here to make your decision," he would just ignore it. And similarly, if you made a PowerPoint and you click through all the slides and you say, "Here, Mr. President, here's what you got to know," he just wouldn't pay attention.
I picked number 3.
You don't even want to read them first?
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Anything that was super heavy on details, he would just let other people handle and not pay any attention to it. For example, Paul Ryan wanted to pass a new healthcare bill. And so Donald Trump was like, "All right, Paul Ryan, you want to pass a new healthcare bill. I'm leaving you in charge of that. You make the healthcare bill. I don't want to deal with healthcare." The open secret of the Trump White House is that Trump was an idiot. Now, you weren't allowed to say that, obviously, because if you said it to Donald Trump's face, he'd get mad at you and he'd fire you. And that's what happened to Rex Tillerson, is he got caught saying, Trump is an idiot. But everybody kind of said that off the record. This is what Michael Wolff had to say. He said, "Everyone, in his or her own way, struggled to express the baldly obvious fact that the president did not know enough, did not know what he didn't know, did not particularly care, and to boot was confident, if not serene, in his unquestioned certitudes. There was now a fair amount of back of the classroom giggling about who had called Trump what. For Steve Mnuchin and Reince Priebus, he was a, quote, idiot. For Gary Cohn, he was dumb as shit. For H.R. McMaster, he was a dope. The list went on. Ultimately, it's really bizarre that this guy even stood a chance of being president, and to me, it's a sign that our democracy is fundamentally broken. So thanks for watching Theo's Book Club. If you're new around here, my name's Theo. I make brief videos like this one going over the big ideas in the books that I read, so that you can learn what I learned, and so you can decide, do I want to read these books for myself? If you like this video, I hope you'll leave a thumbs up. That tells YouTube this is a good video. We should show it to more people. I would greatly appreciate this because I just started this channel and I'm trying to grow it. And you can also, if you want to see my smiling face popping up in your feed more often, you can hit the subscribe button down below. And until next time, have a great day.